Hello, everyone, and welcome to Larry's Page Anything Goes. This is the first video that I'm actually recording, and I'm actually a little excited and a little nervous all at the same time, but what the heck, let's go for it. The first topic I'm going to discuss for my first video is called money. Money, 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 money. It all makes the world go round, but I'm definitely not going to discuss money in regards to being the so-called big baller, being of the boss, or trying to show off and impress people that don't matter in your life. No, we're not going to get into that kind of discussion. The kind of discussion I'm going to talk about in regards to money is, what does it really mean to you? And what does it mean to me? To me, money is a device and it could be used for multiple things. First, obviously, you need money in order to survive in this world, no matter where you live at. You need money for food, you need money for clothing, and you need money to have a roof over your head. Those are the necessities in life. Excuse me. But there's so many other ways that one can utilize money that can help their life, their families' lives, and the generations of their families, help them progress in other areas, and it could, in those multiple areas, can go into investing, business, savings accounts, but it's all those things have to somewhat intertwine and commingle with one another. And the main question is, once you've paid your bills, once you've bought the necessities in life that one needs to survive and to live in this world, what are you doing with your money? What are you putting it into? And hopefully, if you do have enough money to put into a savings account, then hopefully you're taking 5% of that money on a monthly basis or an annual basis throughout the month or throughout the week. You're putting it into some sort of investment, some sort of retirement plan. These are questions that, if you're not asking yourself these questions, you should be asking yourself these questions. And then the thing is, if there's still a question, then how do you find an answer to it? Everybody's financial situation is different. I get that, and that's fine. Everybody's financial situation is different, but what are you doing to put yourself in a better place financially? Not to look better, not to impress anybody, because to me, if you're over the age of 25, I think you should be at a point in your life where you're not trying to impress anybody, because this is not high school. High school is over with. You're not trying to be a part of the cool kids club. That's over with. You do what you have to do to survive first, and then you do what you have to do to get ahead even further in life, as a secondary plan. So do you have any retirement plans? And that's the thing I'm gonna discuss tonight in regards to money. Have you considered utilizing stocks? And nowadays in 2017, and we only have 2 months left in 2017, there's so many ways for you to invest your money into stocks and bonds with your cell phone. That's a touch of a couple of clicks. It makes that life that much easier, especially if you utilize the two apps that are out there known as Stash and Acorn. And Stash and Acorn are very great apps. I use them myself. Now, I'm not endorsing them for other people or for any financial gain for myself. I'm just putting information out there if you don't know about it, because I just found out about these two apps a couple of months ago myself. And it's easy. You can use as little as $5 a pay period to $10 a pay period, how much you want a pay period, or how much you want every week or every day, just depending on your situation. You can utilize that little bit amount of money and use it as, and they use it for you, use your money for you to invest in specific stocks. And they even give you specific education on a regular basis. You get emails and app updates on a regular basis about what stocks are hot, other stocks that you should look into. And the thing that I love about Acorn the most is that you can utilize Acorn with your debit card. Every time you swipe your debit cards, one great example, you buy an item and it costs $5.50. Acorn tacks on another 50 cents and uses that money to put into stock investments. So instead of just paying $5.50, you've paid $6 for that specific price. But every time you utilize your debit card, which most people utilize on a regular basis, you are, in a sense, and you're not even in a sense, you are investing your money. So you're making your money work for you. My favorite thing is, don't only work for money, but make money work for you. No matter how little, how big, just try to make your money work for you at the end of the day, because This is a consumer-based economy in the United States. That's fine and grand dandy, but one needs to know that not only as a consumer, make the money work for you. You can do a lot of things to save money, but you should also do other things to utilize your money so you can make more money. Look at life like that. Look at your money like that. Some people call money as a tool. I call it as a device. That's just like a cell phone, you know. And then the thing is, another thing to consider: are you buying stocks? Are you putting a little money away into a money market account or an IRA? That's another great thing to consider, because those are things that can make your money work for you. Now, I know the thing people always say, well, it's a risk. Well, life's a risk either way you look at it. And if you're not willing to take a risk and you always want to play it safe, then your life will end up in the I just played it safe category. I never took any risk in my life, and therefore I didn't take the chance to go beyond the level that I've been placed in because of my salary. Because I'm allowing my salary and my spending to define my living instead of my salary / my investments to define my living standard. And then always the other thing is live below your means. I love the phrase work hard, play hard, but just don't play so hard to the point where you're always worried about your next paycheck instead of you saying, well, maybe I don't need to get the new rims on my car. Maybe I don't need to take 3 vacations this year. I'll take 1 or 2 vacations. So therefore I'm saving money. That extra money, maybe I don't need to go into 5 concerts this year. I can go to 3 concerts this year, 5 comedy shows, etc., and so forth. Whatever you do that's considered fun, but it is expensive, you could cut it down to, say, if it's at 100%, cut it down to 60 to 50%. That way, you're still able to have fun throughout your life, but you're just not having as much fun. And the other fun that you can have is by putting that money in a savings account and putting it in investments. That's the main thing. Yes, you need to have money saved up in the account for your savings account for a rainy day, but don't just leave it there, because money is the device, and it's a device that needs to be utilized on a regular basis. Because everybody knows if you're just letting your money sit in the bank, whether you're with a public or a commercial bank, it doesn't matter. The interest rate that you're getting is not that much, and you know that no matter what bank you're with, they're utilizing your money for other things. So a lot of times, in a sense, you're losing money if it's just sitting in the bank, and not because it's not collecting really that much interest. So it's just something to think about. And then another thing, and not only that, because when you think about money markets and IRAs, stocks, bonds, these are things that if Social Security is still around, in the next 30 to 50 years, I'm a millennial, and I know you got the millennial generation that's going to be getting older, and then the generation below my generation that's going to get older. But another thing to think about is, hey, if I retire and I got stocks and I got bonds and I got an IRA, I got a money market, I got a Social Security, I got a pension from my job, if that, if it still exists anymore, or I got a 401k. If you're retiring with at least 6 to 7 things, I think that's an awesome thing. So that way you're not just throwing all your eggs into one basket. I mean, if anybody learns anything from entrepreneurs, it should never throw all your eggs in one basket, because you never know when that one basket might get destroyed, sink below sea level. You just never know. So it's always nice to have backups in this life. Just like when it comes to a job, you don't just want to have all your eggs invested in one job. You want to have a side hustle or two. But I'll discuss that on another video at another time. Okay. Another topic I want to talk about, I don't think people are really discussing like that on a regular basis, is cryptocurrency. That currency the digitized currency that's out there, that for the most part in the future people are predicting can be utilized in all countries. So one does not have to go exchange Canadian dollar for a US dollar. Cryptocurrency can be used worldwide, and that's something that I'll touch on another video. But that's the new wave, and I don't think it's really being discussed on a regular basis about the kind of cryptocurrency, because people are buying it in massive numbers. And the thing is, I'm sure there's going to be a war between governments and the cryptocurrency movement that people aren't even really discussing, because their minds get clouded in the other things that just don't really matter, in my personal opinion. And then like I said, you don't just want your money to sit in the bank. You want it to circulate. Like I said, it's a device, like a cell phone. a cell phone is a device, But in the beginning, what could one do with a cell phone? Well, one could just talk on the phone on a cell phone. Then it went from talking on a phone to being able to text message people on a cell phone. Then it went from that to being able to get on the internet, take pictures, utilize multiple applications. Okay, so that device, in a sense, is a lifeline for most people and for a lot of businesses nowadays, especially mom and pop businesses. They ran off of a cell phone or tablet. So if you look at it like that, if I have a cell phone and all I can do is call somebody and text somebody, but I can't make videos, take pictures, utilize multiple apps on there, then it's not as useful as the newer cell phones that are out there nowadays. It's considered old and in a sense obsolete. And that's what your money somewhat is if it's only sitting in the bank being saved. It's great to save majority of it. I'm all for that. But look at it as a device and make sure you put at least 5 to 10% of that device into something that's going to make you more money, so therefore you can make more money and put more money in your bank account. Okay, and it'll still accrue that small little interest, but you're still putting it in things that are making money. Is there risk involved? Absolutely. But to me, a life with no risk is a life not living whatsoever. It's a life of boredom and predictability and not productivity. And I'm all about being productive, whether it's on a small level or on a huge level. But that's just my personal opinion. And you want your money to add value to your life outside of just surviving on a regular basis. You work hard to play hard in the beginning of your life, your adult life. So in order for you to start at the head, to get to the middle of the class, and then you want to try to get to the head of the class. But think about this: if you have all these investments, and especially if you have children, I don't have any kids, but if you have children, I would imagine that when they get out of high school and get into college or get out of college, that you would like to have something set up for them so they can have not only a paid education, but be able to have some money so in case when they fall into hard times, or maybe they want to put a down payment on the house, because real estate investment is one of the best investments out there. Or maybe they could buy a house and rent out half of the rooms into Airbnb, and that could somewhat start out them to be their first business. Or they could buy a car cash money and be an Uber or a Lyft driver. Who knows what they're going to have out there now in the future, 18 to 20 years from now when it comes to employment, because so many jobs are being not just really taken overseas, but more jobs are being automated because of automation. It's a big deal. And nobody's talking about that on a regular basis, but that's for another conversation, for another video. But that's the thing. You look at money like that. What can it not only do for you? What can it do for your children, your families, your friends? How can you put it together and put it to more uses in order for it to grow? Some people call money a seed so it can grow into a plant. Because if you're not utilizing it as a seed and it's just a seed sitting in a bag and not sitting in the dirt, being fertilized and water put on it in order for it to grow into something beautiful and special, then what good is it? If you're buying, I always like to quote Ving Rhames from the movie Baby Boy. There's rules when you're making money. The guns and butter. All right. So what's the guns? That's stocks and bonds, real estate. Stuff that appreciates in value. And what's the butter? Cars, jewelry, and all the other BS that doesn't mean anything after you buy it. Okay, because the clothes I got on, they don't mean anything after I buy it. The value is totally gone. But the stock and a bond, a business, real estate, once there's money being put into those specific items, then it grows, and it's a beautiful thing. And you might have a couple losses, but hey, that's what life is. You get a job, you don't know if you're going to keep it. You might move on to something else, something better. So look at money like that. It might work here, it might not work there, but give it a shot, even if it's a small as $5 to $10. Oh, LJ, Larry, I can't really, afford to do that. Okay, great. Well, I look at it like this. Look at the shoes you have on. Look at the clothes that you have on. Look at the car that you're driving. And if that's more important to you, then so be it. But if that's more important to you and you're constantly broke because you're constantly putting money into things that aren't growing for you and making you more money, then you got to reevaluate your lifestyle and reevaluate your priorities. That's just my personal opinion. Because honestly, when it comes to money, I like to see it in two places: my bank account and investments. I don't need to see it in my car. If I see it in my house, then that's one thing because my house is an investment. But my car is just, unless I'm an Uber driver or a Lyft driver, That's not my investment. A car is just something to get me from point A to point B. And I've never needed to impress anybody, because the only person I need to press at the end of the day is myself. So, but that's just my personal opinion, because I've never owned a pair of Jordans. I don't even know what a pair of red bottom shoes looks like, but the fact that the shoes cost $1,000, I'd rather put $1,000 into my house or a business or into my bank account. Those three places. But I damn sure don't want to put red bottom shoes on my feet because they cost $1,000. So I've never even owned a pair of Jordans. Doesn't do anything for me. Name brands, unless I work for the company or own stock in those name brands, doesn't really do anything for me. But that's how I look at it. I look at money as a device after the bills are paid. I look at money as a device. I work hard. I play hard. I think most people can subscribe to that. If they don't, then hey, it's to each his own. It's a free country, right? But I have fun as much as the next person, but I know not to have as much fun, because I'd rather see my money grow into something better than just going on nice, expensive vacations and not getting anything back from it, because you never know. You might lose your job, might get hurt. Things happen in this life. And if anybody has experience with the medical industry, unless you have some great government medical care, for the most part, they're going to do their best to charge whatever they can towards you when it comes to a medical bill, with insurance or without insurance. Obviously, if you don't have insurance, it's worse. But unless most people have $5,000 to $10,000 that they can pay off and don't want it to go into the collections agency, I think you need to prioritize your spending habits and your money habits. But anyways, hope you guys liked my first video. There'll be more to come. Unfortunately, you have to see my ugly face, but I've actually enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to hearing your comments, and I'll definitely respond back, and have a great night.